Hello and welcome. We are right, you're wrong, where we are right, and of course you are wrong, where we, you, and Pyrisk talk about all things random and opinionated, from games to politics, from global problems to micro Karens, whatever the fuck they are. So, Pyrisk, are we going to talk about the last couple of days?
Hold on. You say micro Karens?
Micro Karens.
like like little tiny Karens that I can just picture like a bunch of ants, but they're small little Karens. Like fucking like swarming a house and like all you hear is, "Oh my god, this is bullshit."
There's like tiny ants like infesting your kitchen, and they're all screaming, "I want to talk to your manager."
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind was a micro Karens.
Now I'm curious what a macro Karen is.
Oh sweet Jesus. Godzilla sized Karen.
So yeah, sticking with the theme of the month being Halloween, and considering the last couple of days have been pretty eventful for us, pretty much solitarily on a single game, GTA, I figured we should talk about that since it's been a kind of build up over the past month. Came to a climax yesterday as part of a 2 day event where essentially it was a zombie outbreak. But we'll get more on to that. I kind of want to talk about the lead up. Did you have much involvement when it came to either like your hobo character or Frank with the whole
Oh
humane labs thing? Like, I know you was involved a little bit on your hobo.
yeah. So the first time I even found out about this shit was, I think yeah, you had mentioned there was like a fucking helicopter and it's like a SWAT team that fucking landed at Pillbox, the hospital, and went in and like kidnapped the doctor and took off.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
I wasn't there for that uh, whatsoever. But yeah, like the first time I was truly involved in something was, yeah, the original, you want to call it a raid on Humane Labs as my hobo Carl.
Oh, was this with Smack and Mel?
Yes.
Nice, nice, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was I ran pretty much what we did last night where we ran around the side. That's what I did with Carl, but alls I managed to do was get inside the parking lot and then they shot me in the arm and and then that's when I went running back out.
Nice, nice. So, I'm gonna try and summarize what I know of the lead up. Okay, so it all started towards the beginning of the month when a Dr. Cody Pendant. Now, this is going by what I've seen in other people's streams. I wasn't there for it personally, but I believe it was Ollie's character, Veronica Hudson, which you are very fond of on your characters, apparently.
That's Carl.
Hmm.
Cause she's so nice.
She is very nice. I love every character she plays. They're just amazing. Um, but like essentially it started off with Veronica Hudson going in for a psych assessment as part of her sort of regular testing as a member of the LSPD. um I think it was mid exam, the lights went out and the doctor had to excuse himself. When he came back, they continued as normal, but then there was a bit of a kerfuffle out in the hallway. I do believe the two people who was with Veronica at that time left the room, and there was yelling about what's with these guys with guns, why are they so kid up, and all that. Moments later, a guy in a suit and shades, not speaking any like language whatsoever, just came in with a clipboard, um, sort of matched the face of Dr. Cody Pendant with his the obviously like a picture on his clipboard or something, and essentially Dr. Codependent was like ushered out of the hospital and then driven away. Um, Later on that week, I believe there was a LSPD meeting where the guy in the shades and the suit was stood outside the actual LSPD meeting room staring in. The PD members were very aware of it. And who it was, just like they couldn't put like a name to it, or they didn't know where he came from. It was just some mysterious guy keeping tabs on people for some reason. Essentially, that was it. That was it. There was occasional blackouts, occasional the power goes down, the lights goes off, they flicker. Okay.
Yeah, which was really cool when you're just driving through the city and the whole city loses power for a couple seconds.
Yeah, and every now and then you'll come across like some militarized convoy on the search for something. Okay. It later became more and more apparent that like these blackouts were becoming longer and longer. Okay, and every time these blackouts happened, these military folk would be seen here and there, just not really doing anything substantial, just looking for something. It very late became apparent that like what they were looking for was Dr. Codependent, who kept on like escaping, and they would shut off the power during these times for that very reason. That's not actually the case, but that is roughly the gist of what the general populace was getting at. Okay.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few days, you start to get, well, basically, there's a gas leak sort of thing going on, and Humane Labs has caused a gas leak. It's apparently affecting Liberty City, Vice City, and Los Santos. So that's the bit that threw me for a ringer, because it's like, we know it affected Los Santos. Why was it affecting Liberty City and Vice City?
That I hadn't even heard of that, but that doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's Los Santos is on a fucking island.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, there's not
I think that was a red herring. Just to keep us guessing a bit. So towards the end of the month, I want to say kind of like around the 24th, 25th marker, the login page changes and you get this QR code. And the usual very sort of chipper sort of tune you listen to, and the little like shots of like RP happening kind of go staticky and breaks out in this Siproot Biotech logo, with this QR code that flashes on the screen just very, very quickly. I managed to grab that, look it up, and it was Dr. Codependent sending a very cryptic message over what looks to be TikTok or something. Basically talking about like how there's this big thing that he's working on with Humane Labs. He's in over his head, and he's saying it could end in deafening silence or something like that. And it's at this point you're like, okay, so there's a gas leak, some shit's happening. What's going to happen next? People were like, it's obviously going to be a zombie outbreak, but there was still that kind of like, okay, what's about to happen? You know, the police and the medical team then put out the hashtag gas mask challenge, and people started wearing gas masks and sending pictures of their characters over the Twitter of their characters wearing gas masks as just like this general public thing whilst this crisis gets dealt with. So that's the general rundown of the build-up. Kind of simple, but also very intriguing. There was a few occasions where people basically went up to Humane Labs and started causing a fuss. I believe... I actually want to say that, like, other than, I think it was Roger and Julian, think Mel, Smack, and your guy, was it Corey?
Carl.
Carl. Carl.
Carl, yeah.
Yeah.
Frank got smashed into the wall by powers.
Yeah.
So he was in the hospital. So yeah, he didn't get to participate in it, but yeah, Carl.
So we got very curious because I think this was around the time where so there was a moment I think which spurred us onto like seeing what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, so what it yeah, so how it went was Veronica had dropped Carl off at Uwu Cafe because he was just taken hostage for a bank robbery and was told that it would be safe at Uwu. So I was like, okay. So yeah, it was literally like 5 minutes after Carl shows up. There's Frankie, there's Smack, there's Mel. There may have been someone else there, but that part wasn't important. It was yeah, we got a notification through the phones saying that there was a gas leak at and to stay away from Mount whatever the hell,
Um,
wherever Humane Labs is. Um,
Chiansky, Mount Chiansky.
yeah, Chomsky. Yeah, okay. That so to stay away from there. So of course Frankie immediately was like, I gotta go to this. So then that caused Mel to panic. And Mel started freaking out. And then Carl told Mel, was like, okay, you're worried about Frankie, right? And she's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, okay, so how about we go there and check it out then? And of course Smack was like, yeah, let's fucking go. Why wouldn't we go? Let's go see what's
Yeah.
going on. It was more like just trying to convince Mel to go. Is how it came down to, because Carl's homeless. He doesn't fucking care. He ain't got nothing going on. Smack is, of course, all about chaos and finding the next big adventure. Mel was freaking out. Finally convinced Mel to go. We go, and Carl has to change his clothes because you all didn't like him being in his boxers and stuff, and get a gas mask. And yeah, we all went up there um, while following the legally blind person. That was interesting. Uh, and then yeah, we got there and Mel like drove down to the entrance and Marcus was there. I think there was someone else, but I don't remember who it was. Uh, we got there and again, Mel is like freaking out because there's that plane, the fighter jet flying around shooting shit. And Marcus like drives into the parking lot and doing whatever the hell it is he's doing.
Just being a general nuisance,
Mel's
yeah.
like, yeah, Mel's like, no, no, we're leaving, we're getting out of here. So then Carl's trying to calm her down, like if this is where Frankie is, you want to be here or whatever, because you're gonna hate yourself if you leave and something happens to him. So finally get her to stop. So she stops, and then that's whenever yeah, we go on the hill where Smack is hiding, and you all are just watching, and then Carl's like, fuck it, I want to get a closer look. I'm gonna go around back and be all stealthy. Of course, halfway around the building, he gets shot at. But they only shot at him like a couple times. Like I said, they're like an assault rifle, but they missed. Uh, so then they lost track of him, and so I continued sneaking around. And it was like a minute or two after that, Carl's like, "I'm gonna put this on Twitter." So puts on Twitter that he's literally sneaking around and was shot at, which then I think prompted the other guards at the front of the gate to go and look around the side because they started shooting into the hill where Carl was, but they were missing by a terrible lot. And they passed him. So he got up, sprinted, ran into the parking lot, got behind it was like a metal barrier thing, uh, and laid down there. But unfortunately, pretty sure the guards saw him do it because then they came in there and one went past him and the other one was kind of in front and shot at him and hit him in the arm. And then they got like right up on him and Carl's like, I'm too scared to move. And then one of them started shooting the ground around him. And so he jumped up and took off running. As Carl's running up the hill, back now police is there and EMS and everything. As Carl's running back up the hill, Frankie yells something and is running down the hill and gets gunned down on the spot. That was funny to watch.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he it was either be arrested or see what's going on. I think he got overly curious to a fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that's what actually hospitalized him, but I will get more onto that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just very interesting. Like, just randomly faffing around, having the police show up. They're like struggling to contain the situation because obviously we've leaked it all over Twitter, and like they're already geared up because of the Lost, and now they're like, shotguns in hand, armored up in SWAT gear, basically just being like, all right, everyone needs to clear out this area. I think at one point, Chester goes to negotiate with the people at the Humane Labs to basically get like those civilians out of there. And I think that is roughly where that leaves off, isn't it? Like after everyone clears out.
I say I don't know because after Carl got to the ambulance, he got patched up from his gunshot wound, and then Frankie was healed and then thrown in the back of a cop car and arrested. Uh, the fighter jet like started shooting semi close, and it was like after that, Carl just he took off running, and then that's whenever you and Mel came and picked him up after that.
Yeah.
So if anything happened after that, completely unsure, but I believe that is probably where that ended.
Okay. So we then move on to the day 27th of this month. Business as usual. Everyone's wearing gas masks. No one gives a damn. It's just a gas leak. And there is a military convoy going throughout the city. They stop off by Uwu. They are scanning the area. They're desperately looking for someone. The blackout is so long at this point, and the weather is wild. It is stormy. It's horrible. Like yeah. They come in full force this time. The convoy is twice the size. They've got the attack helicopters circling around. They stop off at all the local businesses looking for this presumably Dr. Codependent. At one point, they sort of push their way in. They're pointing guns at us. Smack's not taking this. He's like in his own little dreamland, basically thinking it's the British invading. So like he's like really antsy about it. He's like insulting them to their face. He's not having any of it, right? And at one point, he's so gobby. They basically detain Smack, take him into Uwu, and leave him there cuffed. So a scientist comes into Uwu, starts scanning the area. Like, Smack continues to be gobby as shit to this scientist, but they're just not responding. They're not saying shit. They're keeping their quiet, and it is so weird, so goddamn weird. Eventually, they leave. They uncuff Smack, and then we're fed up of this, and Kapower's there. Kapower's straight up, quick Smack, take the truck. So Smack being Smack, jumps in the passenger seat of the truck next to the scientist, and the guards open fire on the canopy. Thank God for bulletproof glass. Smack panics, fucking skedaddles. But not for long. The convoy moves on. Smack follows on his man-chairs and watches them as they go around to these different areas. He's reporting back. The police take an interest. They start to try and figure out what's going on. Some taxi driver finds Codependent, and now they're on the lookout for this taxi. The police intercept and try to get Codependent out of there, away from these Humane Labs guys, so that they can figure out what is going on with the situation, right? they hole up at the Pillbox Hospital. There's Codependent and Maverick sort of in the hospital. Like Codependent, I believe, is like spilling the beans. Maverick is like trying to go along with it. You've got a police thing, sort of like just circling the entirety of Pillbox lower and Pillbox higher, and then you've got us, the street side hooligans, basically trying to break into Pillbox to see what the hell is going on. Um, we've got guns out and everything. There's a military helicopter, like basically keeping tabs on us the whole time. It is so screwed. Um, Eventually, they capture Codependent, and then things, you know, dissipate. Like, the convoy goes back to Humane Labs. We do kind of give chase, but at that point, it's kind of a lost cause, so we turn back. Okay, and that is
Yeah.
roughly that. The gas mask challenge sort of comes into full effect, and yeah. Um, some people now know roughly what's going on, but not what the effect is going to be. Moving on to the 28th of this month. Now, I want to talk about this in stages with you, okay? Because
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you
Well,
was getting up to, but I'll just give
okay.
you a quick rundown. We'll go up until the city hall, and then we'll hear each other's sides. Yeah. So
Okay. Real quick before we get into this, have you checked out the Let's RP YouTube channel? Have
um,
you?
I have not actually.
They have a YouTube channel where they just upload, some little like 30-second clips of shit and stuff. And they just yesterday like uploaded like the first day of what we're about to talk about, of like us gathering at City Hall, uh and just other random shit. It's just kind of neat.
Mm.
Um because it it shows like the police cars and shit at the mansion
Oh yes, yes,
and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I would say check that out.
yeah.
It's
This
like
is the
Let's
one
RP
with,
official or some shit, or official Let's RP,
yeah.
whatever.
Is this the one with the Oasis music playing?
Maybe, I don't remember.
Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah, but I was so happy because Frank was in two of the little clips that were in.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess I'll start, and then I kind of want to hear what your side of things was.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
So, I start the day like any other. Clock on. I'm on Alex Blake this time, not Smack. I spend the entirety of this day on Alex Blake, and then Smack is for the final day. Okay. So start on normal patrols. Clock on. Just go out and about. Whatever. Okay. Soon, army jets pass over the city, escorting what looks to be a large cargo plane. Okay. Um, there is some sort of hoo-ha which needs to be covered up. The police are trying to basically keep the public calm, and Chester basically orders Blake, my character, to guard the press at the city hall, whilst he goes around with the mayor to the various businesses to try and, like, oh, the mayor's out and about, there's obviously nothing to worry about, sort of, hearts and minds sort of situation. Okay. Um, so whilst I'm guarding this, I just see like this military like escort fly overhead, and obviously that's like a little bit spooky because it's like, okay, they're mobilizing more and more over this month, and it's like the moment you see something that big in the sky, you're like, oh shit, something's about to happen. Moments later, all units, emergency meeting back at MRPD, the mayor included. We go back to MRPD. The first line that comes out of the commissioner's mouth is, and I quote, Everything is fucked.
That's awesome.
Society is collapsing. And I was like, okay, okay, it's starting today then. um, so I was just like, okay, this is absolutely wild. Nice. Okay. So we're given orders to load up our squad cars with like medical packs, ammo, guns, torches. And then like we're given like literally 5 minutes to do this, and he's like, right, in 5 minutes I'm going to give the citywide alert to meet at the city hall. Um, get your cars stocked up with supplies and rations. We barely get out of MRPD when the signal goes off, and we race over to the city hall. We're told to like guns out, front and center at the on the stairs, basically protection detail all around. Okay, and then when the basically when the alert goes out, like it's like all civilians are like encouraged to go to the city hall for an emergency speech with the mayor or something like that. And you just start to see people like roll up in their cars, and it's like, okay, cool, cool. People like in here. There's like a little bit of public outrage. I know for a fact that Frank thought like we was gonna start executing because we're like suited, we're booted, we got like guns out and everything. You
Yeah.
see the
So
entirety of the Lost roller out, and they're like in mass droves. They park up on the grass, but they're very hesitant to come to this meeting. And at one point, like basically, like there's this call for people to move into the house, but before that, like this military freaking jet formation and cargo plane go overhead once more, and like some of the cops are like, don't look up, look down at the ground. Oh, that's interesting, look at that by your feet. Like just desperately trying to like not give attention to the military shit going on. Obviously people like starting to freak out. The meeting is held, and we're told to like hand out torches to everyone. The lights go out. How was your day so far?
so my day started out as I forget, did I buy my truck the day before
The
or that
Camacho?
same day?
I believe you
Yeah.
bought it the day before.
Okay. Um, so I got in the Camacho and I said fuck it and went over to Uwu Cafe. I was like, that as we've discussed before, it's just when you have nothing going on and if Uwu's open, it's kind of just a place to go and
When in
do
doubt,
whatever.
go to Uwu. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went over there and there's Mel and some other guy who's like he says he's a manager at Apex. I honestly I don't even know his name. I don't even know if I got his name. Uh, so we're all just start talking or whatever. Uh, well, the that guy and Mel were like in the back room of Uwu talking, and then like I came in and they were like, and then Mel was like, "Oh my God, Frank!" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Yeah, I just got out of the hospital after getting metal rods and metal plates put in my leg." Because a cop thought it'd be funny to smash me into a wall going 100 miles fucking hour. uh, and so I was like, I don't have a fucking clue what's happened and stuff. And so they kind of like gave the sit rep of like the Humane Labs incident and stuff. And we're just like, yeah, you should definitely have a gas mask on. And I was like, oh, so that's why there was a gas mask next to my hospital bed when I woke up.
Yup.
Okay, makes sense. So I put my gas mask on. And then we went outside because Mel said she needed to smoke. And then the other guy started smoking. And then I would mention to him, I was like, yeah, I was like, well, it seems like shit's really gonna hit the fan before long. So I'm glad I bought that truck because it go off road if I need to, or fucking plow through anything. Basically, I was like, yeah, I wish I would have been able to fix it up, or wish I could fix it up right now. He goes, oh well, I'm a manager over at Apex. He goes, if you want and take our minds off this shit going on, I said we can run over there and see what we can do to it. I said, okay, fuck it. So we went over to Apex, and that's I got all the extra fixins put on uh,
Nice.
for it and stuff. And so we went back to Uwu. We got back, or I got back to Uwu. He had to go AFK or whatever. So he's like, I'll just meet you back over there once I'm done thinking. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go back to Uwu. Viv is there. Fucking whatever guy's always clinging to her arms there. Uh, let's see.
Oh, that would
Okay,
be Jackson, I
Marcus.
believe.
Okay, Marcus is there. Goddamn, what's the lifeguard chick's name? Is it Catherine?
Um, I think it's Catherine.
Catherine. Okay, she's there. So Catherine had the helicopter, and they parked it outside of Uwu in the parking lot. They landed it right outside.
Okay.
It's there. So they're all there, and like, or maybe Viv isn't there yet. Point is, whatever. Marcus and Catherine are definitely there. I go inside, and they're all just kind of bullshit, and I'm just kind of listening. Whether Viv and them are there or not doesn't really matter. At some point, Viv is there, and uh, Mel went to introduce us and was like, "Oh, this is Frank." Blah blah. And I said, "Nah." So we already met once. So I said, "Yeah, She said she didn't like my name. Yada yada." I said, just cool, literally just a casual thing of like, "Yeah, no, we already know each other." She said she didn't like my name, so she was mean to me. Literally nothing at all. Viv just immediately goes, "That's like," basically acts like I just ran over her dog. She's like, "That's a fucking lie, blah, blah, blah. You're a goddamn liar." And I was like, "No, I didn't fucking lie. That's what you said. You said you didn't like me." "No, I said I did. I said it's weird calling another man Frank when my boyfriend's name is Frank, and it's weird saying his name, to another guy, something about like when something about calling another guy Frank who's not fucking her is like literally what she said." And was just like, "No, you said your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend's name, whatever. You mentioned that part, but I'm like, the rest of the shit you never said." And then she just going on and on about, "You're a fucking liar," and blah blah, pushing some lying narrative. And so then that's when I called her. I was like, "No," I was like, "You're being a fucking entitled," I was like, "God damn, must be nice to be a self-entitled little bitch," and stuff. And then she was like, "I'm not being self-entitled." I'm like, "Yeah, you fucking are."
I love
And so I was like,
Frank.
like literally, her and I mean, we are on the verge of probably about ready to shoot each other.
I wouldn't be
And
surprised.
yeah, and then shit you not, what saved us was the alert to come to City Hall. That interrupted everything. It was just like, "All right, fuck it, let's go." Uh, and for the record, I love Viv as like Viv's character. I don't mind it whatsoever. Uh, or her as a person. I don't know her as a person. I don't care.
Oh yeah, yeah, no,
But
they're good people.
yeah,
Good people.
yeah, her as a character, Frank wants fucking hates her with a passion. Like at first he didn't care, but now he does. But of course, this all now resets now that the event's over. It didn't actually happen.
Yep.
Uh, but anyways, so we all basically just run out of Uwu. I jump in my truck, haul ass down to City Hall, park, see all the cops there. Uh, they get behind they're like, "Hey, get behind the line of cops over there, yada yada." I'm kind of like, okay. So go over there. Marcus shows up and uh it starts mouthing off to the cops and shit. And so Frank gets an idea, is just like, "Oh yeah, they're probably gonna execute us." Whatever. Just seeing what he could cause. And so that's when Marcus pulled out his pistol, which had a silencer on it. And all the cops were like, "Marcus, put that fucking thing away."
Yeah, he,
And he's
he
like,
he
"What?"
was he was told he could arm himself for his own protection. What he
Yeah,
was not told is that he can like literally brandish it right next to the mayor in a group of people with a goddamn illegal silencer on it. Just pointing
yeah.
out, society hasn't broken down just yet.
No, no, it hadn't. But so yeah, so Frank just does that. So Frank says that, and then basically, I don't know. Marcus is doing his freaking thing, and all the cops are like, "Marcus will fucking detain you if you don't cut it out." And then I think Marcus DC'd or something because he just vanished
Oh yeah, the
for a
the
minute.
commissioner was a little bit pissed.
Yeah. Uh, and then so they move us all inside, and we're all inside in the lobby of the city hall. And I'm just like, hey, Mayor's like up on the steps, just standing there. I'm like, hey, Mayor, when would be a good time to talk to you about starting a business?
I remember that.
And she's like, maybe come find me after everything's calmed down or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like, okay. So yeah, so everyone's freaking out. Yeah, like the Lost is there, as you said. They showed up. We're all inside now. Uh, the power. I don't think the meat like anything has been said. I think the power finally goes out, and yeah, everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Uh, and so then that's whenever whichever cop was kind of taking charge. I don't remember who
Chester.
it was. Chester. Okay, Chester taking charge. He's like, "All right, we're gonna start, evacuating people." And at this point, cops haven't said anything. They're just like,
That's
"Okay, we're
because
gonna start evacuating people now." And we're like, "What the
legitimately,
fuck?" Yeah,
legitimately, we did not know anything other than a gas leak. But we did know it
yeah,
was statewide and it was obviously dangerous. So it was like, okay, we need to start evacuating.
yeah. So yeah, but that's so everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Like, no, 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 hold up. You're gonna start evacuating us. Why? What is going on? And it's just like the cops are just like not they don't even go, look, we don't even know the full scope. We just know it's dangerous and we got to get you all out. Like they don't say anything. They're just like, okay, we got to evacuate. And we're like, why? Okay, yeah, let's start handing out torches and
Yeah, because at some point the light did go out. So it was like, okay, well, torches are definitely necessary here.
yeah,
So, we're fully aware it's like a gas leak, that it plays on the body somewhat. We were not sure how. Chester knows because I think they're like part of the admin team. He was actually like
yeah,
a driving actor in this, trying to direct like the events from like a IC perspective, whilst I think
yeah,
the other admins and moderators were basically controlling the Humane Labs people, um, and just sort of steering the narrative from afar, sort of thing. Um, so we was told to hand out all these like torches and stuff, and for whilst we're like doing this, we're like, okay, time to evacuate. So can everyone make it to your vehicles? We'll go as a group. We need to head to the airport. So we make our way outside, and things seem kind of calm for a little while. We make it to the end of the city hall gardens, and the PD are given the order to take defensive positions around the civilians and basically open fire on the I think someone called them like the aggressors, or I can't remember what word they used, but it definitely wasn't zombie. I think Chester mentioned that like some of them were eating others across the road, and that's when they started open firing. So there's this very pivotal moment I want to talk about real quick, where all the civilians are in this garden. Okay, the PD have now encircled the entire place. The Lost are fucking off on their bikes, going to do their own thing, and the PD are now starting to open fire. At that very moment, I'm not sure if a plane crashed or it was a missile or
yes.
what, but a tree
No,
fucking
it was
explodes right next to
it,
us.
it was the fighter jet that was flying around.
Yeah, so it crashes into that tree, and it's that very moment where like we start opening fire, and like that crash happened, that you just see intense panic open up in all the freaking civilian role players there. Like they're all scattering. They're like shit, 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 shit. They're going to their cars. They're like trying to race out. We scatter to the wind, but most of us, a lot of us, head towards the airport.
Yep.
So back to my point of view for a second. Um, so we're on the way to the airport. It's hectic. We're crashing through, basically shambling people who are just walking in the roads. It's weird. It's like panicking us all. A few times we like crash into each other because it's like there's a breakdown of communication almost. Um, we head towards the airport, and I see someone getting harassed on the road, so I run over the harasser. Okay, this
Yeah.
causes my car to flip out of control and land on like one of those middle walls on the freeway, sort of thing.
That was your car?
That was my car. Yeah.
Because okay, because I
So
didn't see that happen, but I came across that car after that had already happened, after you guys already made it to the airport, and I was wondering, I was like, what? How did this happen?
yeah, so that my car span out of control because I hit a zombie. And it landed on that like wall. I had to
Yeah.
ditch the car and like cover like the other officers like basically moving on. They actually did leave me there. So I started getting swarmed.
Yeah.
I had to like open fire. It was like very creepy. I think at some point Chester goes past me and like picks me up. We make it to the airport just, and as we pull into the airport, all we see is this huge passenger plane face plant the runway, and that was our evacuation plan. That passenger jet was our evacuation, and it bloody eats shit on the runway. And from that jet, you just see droves of zombies like coming out of it. Which, by the way, as cool as that was to see, the zombies appearing from the jet was not actually planned. I confirmed that with the devs. They did not plan it. It was more like a it was like a very, very cool coincidence, right? So
Nice.
we're then like stationed in this hangar, and we got the mayor there and everyone. Like we're like trying to figure out where do we go from here. Like, we need to get out of the city? The city is like definitely overrun. It's like the most dense population. So we make our way up north. We call out for like an evacuation point at like a mansion in the hills. We secure the mansion. We start like guarding it, and we make sure that like people know we're there, so that they can come get their supplies. They can like find a protection whilst we try and figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's roughly it for me for a while, because I'm there basically on guard duty for a while. Um, Seeing lots of people coming past, lots of people coming in. There's like little small excursions to go and raid various PDs, Davis PD and MRPD, to try and get like more sort of like ammo and stuff. Um, and yeah, that's essentially it. It's just a bunch of civilians and stuff for a while. Um, Eventually, there's like these group of bikers with flares that drove past. I think he was there for that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, no, yeah.
yeah. One of them. So they go past once. We don't think anything of it. We think, oh, this is like a weird cliche from a movie or something. They come back again, and we're all just like watching because they didn't do anything last time. One of them in the rear opens up fire on the mayor, and we have to whisk them, the mayor, away to basically have medical done in the house. I think it was Roger and I freaking put shotgun shells into the guy who was attacking, and we go and take them into the house as well, just for them to fall dead. Because we wanted answers. We want to know what the hell that was. But no, they basically just fall dead, and that's it. The mayor freaking turns. Yeah, the mayor dies. There's like a touching moment with Chester and everyone, because I believe the mayor and Chester were dating. The mayor freaking evacuates the house, goes outside, starts a fight with the local press, I believe. Um, Shows aggression. Chester puts her down with a gunshot for the guy she was attacking to basically retaliate, because he doesn't know what was happening. He pulls out his gun, starts firing on Chester, at which point me and another officer basically just pepper this guy's body with bullets. Just and I think that's the point where like trust in the police completely left, you know? Um it wasn't soon after that we had the entirety of the Lost, who have actually been doing stuff in the background that favored us, helped us. They all rolled in all at once and were taking shelter. They actually had a little meeting in the background, which we just were not aware of. They then sort of situated themselves around the place in various areas alongside members of the agency. And then they was given the call to basically gun down all the PD and the civilians, but then only help the civilians.
Yeah.
They took all our stuff, and that's pretty much it. That is the canonical end of Alex Blake during this during this event. I did respawn and as kind of like a different kind of cop for a while, and we did some PD thing where we were shooting down jets, etc., etc. There was a bunch of us hauled up in Sandy PD. You probably saw that from that little video as well.
Yeah.
And eventually hearing from Ben Dune, that like basically they shot down a bunch of our cops, we go on a bit of a vendetta. So we head back to the city in a SWAT van, just to get gunned down again. At which point it was like the end of the night for me, so I was like, okay, I'm calling it here. So that's how Alex Blake's day went. So City Hall, lights go out. Let's hear your side.
Okay, so yeah, so we go outside, as you said, we get to the end of the patio, all the shit happens. You can see people across the street are acting different. They don't seem normal, but they're not really doing anything for the most part. So we're just kind of like, okay, there's the jet flying around, and then yeah, the jet crashes. Uh, fucking like everybody has their guns out now. PD opens fire across the street and across the garden and stuff. Everyone's kind of panicking. And so, yeah, PD finally is like, all right, everybody, get to your cars, get in a car, whatever. So people do that. I run to my truck. I'm like, well, I'm going to stick with the cops because they have the guns. Makes sense. Uh, so I get my truck and I drive around to where all the cops are and stuff again, and everyone's getting in their cars and everyone starts to take off. I'm following the line of cops. One of the one of the cop cars crash or something, and so they like I stop and I'm like, fuck, I'm like, hey, y'all okay? Anything? And like everyone gets moving again. Uh, I actually end up following the one cop that had no fucking idea where he was going.
Oh, really?
Yes, there was one cop. I don't know who it was because I don't really know all their names. He did not know where he was going. He missed the turn and kept driving straight. So I was just following him. But I noticed behind me all the other cops were turning right. And so we go down a little bit of the ways and then he stops and I'm like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I went the wrong way." So he does a U-turn and fucking whips it around, goes back and goes down the correct street. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just make a right here, go around the block, and I'll just be back up with him. I go around the block, lost everybody. Have no fucking idea where anyone was. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, where did everybody go? So I'm driving around. That is when I came across your car on the concrete median.
I imagine the guy you followed was probably the guy who picked me up then.
Probably. Because he would have definitely been the last cop to come that way. Uh, so we so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go this way. I'm like, it seems like they're probably at the airport. I'm like, that would make sense to me. So I go to the airport. I get to the airport. I hear gunfire. I'm like, okay, cool, they're here. I go in there. I pull in the hangar. Uh, get out. Everyone's shooting zombies and shit. Yeah, there's the plane. It fucking crashes. And one of the cops, probably Chester, was probably like, he started, I don't know if you heard it, he started laughing because he was like, that was not part of the plan, okay?
Yeah, yeah. No,
He
I did
like
hear that.
yeah, he was like trying to hold it in. That's when I realized, okay, this is gonna be good, really good RP because we have officially went off the rails now from the sounds of it. So everyone's like, okay, what the fuck do we do? Do we leave? Do we go? Uh, they end up telling, they're like, Mayor, get in the car, yada yada. Police tell there's like two other civilians there plus me. Police tell us nothing. They just get in their cars and take off.
Yeah, no,
And we're like,
there was a complete breakdown of communication at that point.
yeah. So it was so me and the other two civilians were kind of like, what the fuck? So we get in our cars, but I mean, police is already fucking gone. So we just kind of take off. I kind of drive around for a minute, and then I'm like, fuck it, I need to get gas. So I go to a gas station where the other two civilians happen to be too. Stop, get gas, and we're just kind of like, what the fuck do we do now? And what? And then I think yeah, I think I mentioned, I said, I'm going to go check out Uwu and see if anyone's there. So I went to Uwu. They happened to basically go there too. So we got there. I hear gunfire off in the distance. I'm like, hey, I hear guns. I'm going to go check that out. I drive around the corner. I don't remember who it was. There was like one or two people there. And so I went there. I said, hey, we're at Uwu. You know, come on. You know, we're staying there for right now. So that we went. So we went back there and we're there. I get on Twitter and I'm putting up. I'm like, hey, you know, if there's any survivors in the city, come to Uwu. That's where we're held up. And at some point, the cops show up with the mayor. And I forget, were you there?
I think I was. I think I
I
actually
think
skipped
yeah.
out that bit. I think in between us
You
going
did,
from
and
the
that's what
airport.
I was a little confused.
Yeah, I think
But
going from the airport to the mansion, I think there was a bit in between that where there was the whole stocking up at
yeah,
MRPD and then going to Uwu. I do apologize.
yeah, yeah. So we went to Uwu, and like I said, all the cops show up. They kind of they put their cars out front, kind of barricading the parking lot. They start shooting, and they're shooting zombies, and we're all basically inside, and we're kind of like, you know, what the fuck's going? You know, what do we do now? What's the plan? Over the radio, I hear like someone's like, this is fucking Air One or whatever. I don't fucking whatever the hell the code was. Like, hey, I got room for three more people
Yeah.
for pickup or whatever to evacuate. And so I start telling everyone, I'm like, hey, there's a helicopter coming. It says it's got three more people on it. Like, cool, awesome, yay. The helicopter doesn't even land. It somehow fucking blew up.
Yeah, no, so what essentially happened there was Momo had grabbed Air One and was coming to like evacuate whoever they can. They
Yeah,
stopped off at like Uwu, I think probably because they saw that people were like holed up there. Um, they came in for a hover to like assess the situation before landing, and just before they came in to land, they were shot out the sky by one of the jets. Um,
oh shit.
yeah,
I didn't see the jet. I
all,
just
all
saw the helicopter blow up.
all I saw was an explosion behind me. Um, Chester, someone mentioned that like Air One is down, and then Chester being like, "Well, what were they doing?" it's like it's like almost accusing like Air One of being bad, but it's yeah, no, it was shot down by a jet.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny. Uh but anyway, yeah, so the helicopter blew up and we're all still there. And so we're all inside still. It gets to the point where there are quite a few zombies outside actually. Um and everyone's like, Mel, lock the fucking door. So like Mel locked the door and then she turns around and fucking unlocks it.
Yeah,
And she does this like five times
sh-
and zombies get in and we're like, Mel, fucking quit.
so
Just
yeah, there is a little
hey,
bit of backstory to that, as I found out like after the whole shtick. So they tried to sneak out the back, but there was zombies out the back, so they closed the door and it wouldn't lock. The door, the zombies kept on opening it, so they had to barricade the back door with billards so it wouldn't be opened by NPCs.
yeah.
Um, I imagine the same thing was happening with the front door. The reason she unlocked it herself, though, was because she was panicking, and I think it was Kapow was left outside alone.
Yes. Yeah, Kapow was down, but like even all the cops were like, "Do not open that door." Sorry, it sucks, but he's done for. Like, there's nothing we can do. And yeah, she just kept locking it, and then she'd unlock it, and yeah, like I said, zombies would come in, and it was like, God damn it. So finally, after like the fifth fucking time she did that, there were a couple of us. We just kind of ran out the door. We're like, fuck this. It's safer being outside where we can actually move than it is to be
Yeah.
inside with her keep opening it.
Do you
So
do you
pretty much
remember
everyone.
do you remember the Vargos zombie, the one running around with the
Yeah,
yellow shirt?
the one guy.
So that was, I believe, the guy who had coordinated this entire event, basically fucking with
Oh.
us, and they were unlocking the door, I believe.
Uh,
But to be fair, Uwu is not a stronghold. It's got wide
no, it's
panes of
not. It's
glass.
not.
It's not gonna hold out, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it wouldn't. But it's just one of those things where it's like, can we have a freaking minute to come up with an actual plan?
But that was
God.
half the fun, though, wasn't it?
Oh
Like,
no, I know it was. It really was. Because after we all scattered and everyone took off, went their separate ways, you all ended up at the mansion. I just kind of drove around. I didn't know where everyone went. So again, I just start driving around. And I come across, I hear on the radio that a helicopter had crashed at the construction site. And they were like, hey, but it looks like the pilot managed to make it out, yada, yada. So at that point, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go play hero. So I drove to the construction site, found the destroyed helicopter, found Simon and the other guy that was wearing like all the like Fallout style armor.
oh, Roger, he went full
Roger,
Max,
yeah.
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I found both of them were down inside the construction zone, so I ran in there, and Roger and Simon are both like, help me, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know CPR, so I got to take you all somewhere. And Simon's immediately like, I'm a paramedic, take me. Roger's like, what? No, no, don't leave me. And so I'm like, okay, so I pick up Simon and I take him to my truck, and uh, I drive down the street, or I get in the truck, I drive down the street, and I'm like, all right, Simon, is there any way I can lay you in this truck comfortably where, you're not going to be in pain? And he's like, yeah, just, basically telling me, he's like, yeah, F1 and do this and that, but, in game, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, no, it ain't gonna work for some reason. I said, fuck it. I said, I'm gonna take you to. They keep talking about a mansion. I'm gonna take you there, and then I'm gonna come back for him. So I get on the radio and I'm like, hey, I got two survivors here or whatever. I got a survivor, this and that, where he needs help. And I'm like, yeah, it's Simon. He says his name's Simon. So they tell me the address. I got the address wrong. Luckily, I only went like one street down, but uh, I went there and then I'm like, oh shit. So I get on the radio and I'm like, hey, what was the address? And they tell me, oh, okay. So I get there, drop him off, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and get Roger. So I literally do. I drive back. At this point, Roger has already the animation is he's dead. So he's just laying there now. But I'm like, shit, Roger, you still alive? And he's just like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that as a maybe. So I pick him up, get in the truck, go back, and that's when I'm on the radio, and I'm like, hey, I got another guy with me, but I don't know if he's infected or not. So I'm gonna fucking just park outside and drop him and put him on the ground, and someone come look at him. So that's what I did. I put him on the ground, and then immediately just drew my gun and had it pointed at him. And then I was it you and I know Simon showed up and helped him, but was it you
No, no,
that came over? We're
no.
like, okay, there was Simon and someone else. They're like, hey, say something, and he's not saying anything, and they're like, God damn it! All right, so they're literally about ready to shoot him in the head, just to keep him down. And then he's like, what? No, don't shoot me! And then Simon's like, well, when you're fucking told to speak,
Oh wait,
you
Roger.
speak.
Yeah, Max guy, right? Yeah, no, he
Yeah,
he was being like strangely quiet. I think I was the one with Simon there.
yeah. I
Yeah.
I I thought it was you. Yeah, and so so Simon kind of starts laughing a little, and he's like, "When someone fucking tells you to speak, you speak. You don't just stay quiet." So yeah, so then at that point, we're all there. We're whatever. Like you said, we're just kind of on guard duty. We
Pretty
don't really
much.
know what's going on. We don't know shit. Some people show up and they're like, okay, hey, we're gonna go out and look for supplies. They go out look for supplies. They come back and they have two Guardian trucks, which is the big fucking trucks, just completely filled to the fucking brim with ammo and weapons. And so I grab a shotgun, and it was like 10 or 15 shells, whatever it was. And then everyone's freaking out. Who the fuck's stealing shit? And at that point, I was like, I'm keeping this. So I went to the back of the house, and there were actually some zombies were spawning at like the tennis court and shit
Yeah.
behind the house. So I went back there, killed them, and then was just kind of running around in the back street there, killing zombies. And then Powers is like, yeah, it's the hot dog guy. He fucking did it. This and that. And that's why I said I didn't steal shit.
So there's
No, I mean,
a little bit of a misconception there, which kind of spurred this distrust, and I love it. Um, so people who don't know how ammo works in that game, one bullet is not actually one bullet. It's like a whole clip, right? So if you took like 15, say, shotgun shells, that's actually more akin to like I don't know, 45 shots or something like that. Um,
yeah,
so like you get like people basically taking like, oh, I'll just take like a 15 bullets or something, and then it turns out they've got ammo for fucking days now, and others are left without. And I freaking love that because I'm just like, I know exactly what's happened, but I'm gonna roll with it anyway because I love it.
no, no. I knew one shell is more than just one. I already figured that out with the pistol ammo and stuff. I haven't got that, but it was like I don't care because I didn't take it all. There was like 120 shells there, and I took like 15 of them. I was like, I'm not too concerned about us running out of ammo, especially if I'm going to do more than just sit inside with it. I was like, I'm not just going to stand around inside the mansion. So, anyways, yeah. So then when I went back, that's when you approached me and you were like, hey, have you presented yourself to be searched? I said, no, I haven't because I didn't fucking steal anything. And I'm like, fuck it. You want to search me? Search me. And I told you exactly what the fuck I had. And that's exactly what the fuck I had.
Okay, so small spoiler. If you had taken a bunch of stuff, I would have just asked to have some of it for my personal usage, because Alex Blake is mafia. Yeah, he comes from a mafia family. He was handing out guns to people like before the shit even hit the fan. Because like he had his suspicions, and was like arming his friends with like stuff, basically not doing what a police officer should in that situation. So in that situation, if you had taken like a bunch of like stuff from that truck, all he would do is ask for some of it and then like let you go. Like he wasn't actually gonna like detain you or anything like that for like stealing.
Yeah.
um so yeah, just a little tidbit there.
Yeah. No. And like I said, and as Frank and Blake were talking and stuff, is like, Frank is like, he's all about, you got to survive. And so it wouldn't make any sense in his mind. It didn't make any sense for one person to have so much ammo they could take down an army, so to speak. It was like, hey, we have a stronghold here. We got people. So literally, he just took what he needed or what he thought he need and was like, okay, I'm going to start defending this place. But yeah, so anyways, after that, yeah, we're doing guard duty shit. Nothing really happens besides the mayor gets shot and she's doing her medical shit happening on her. Honestly, Frank has no fucking idea what's happening with that. All he hears are like he saw the bikers go across like the first time,
Hmm.
and it was like, okay, whatever, the lost is being fucking stupid, yada yada, whatever. Uh, that was it. And the next thing you know, all he hears over the radio is, "Oh, we need medical in here for the mayor," and it's just kind of like, okay. So literally, all that shit happens. Whatever. The Lost literally show up like you said, they like a huge wave of them are just like, okay, like, oh, it's getting night, so they all just come in. Immediately, first thought was, well, why? This is a terrible idea. These guys have literally been doing nothing but trying to bring a horde of zombies our way. Why are we letting them in? Uh, and then the one lone bike shows up, opens fire on us, takes off, like starts driving around the block. So Frank's like, okay, I'm gonna go run through this alley and get to the other side of the street, and I'm gonna do this. And in the meantime, I can hear all the gunfire, but I have no fucking idea what's going on. I think it's literally just this one bike.
Yeah, no, that's the point of execution, I believe.
Yeah. And so I'm running through this alley. I get shot in the back of the head with a shotgun out of nowhere. Don't know who shot me. Still have no idea who shot me. So Frank's down. I'm like, what the fuck? So then there's a cop that happens to be like right above me, uh, going along this wall, and I'm just like, fucking help me, help! What the? So he comes down, he helps me up. He's like, all right, he's like, all right, you're okay, you're okay. Come on, follow me. We're gonna get these assholes. Literally never told me what was going on. We hop the fence, go in the back at the tennis court. We go up there. Literally, he's not shooting at anyone. Nothing is happening. The agency and the Lost are walking around. Again, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I see Mel's down, and I just kind of walk up to her. I'm like, Mel, what the hell happened? And she isn't really saying shit. She's just like, oh my god, whatever.
Panicking
She's
like Mel
kind of,
does. Yeah.
yeah, but she's down though. And so I'm like, and then so this agency guy goes, hey, who the fuck are you? And I said, I don't. I'm like, me. I was like, I don't know. I've been here the whole fucking time and stuff. He's like, oh, okay. Points a shotgun at me and shoots me in the face.
Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
that's pretty much how it
yeah,
goes.
yeah. And then, and so I'm like, what the fuck? Again, I don't know what the hell has happened. But then what was funny is I think that cop ended up shooting, and I think he shot the guy that shot me or something. And because me and that guy, like both went down on top of each other.
Oh wow.
So we're basically like there, and we're just like, and so I'm just like, why the fuck are you all doing this? And he's like, oh, survival of the fittest. And I'm like, this ain't fucking survival of the fittest. So you just shot us in the back. And then the guy's like, he told one of the Lost, he's like, hey, shoot this guy. So shut him up. I don't want to listen to his bullshit. So they shot me. My guy is now quote unquote dead, so to speak. Uh, but again, we are both like on top of each other. So the Lost guy comes over and starts performing CPR, does not realize he actually is healing me. So he heals me up. So Mike Frank pops up and they're like, wait a minute, what? No. And so I start taking off running, but then the guy's like, no, 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 no. Like almost like he sounded like he was out of character. He's like, no, 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 that was an accident. No, no, you're not up. And I was like, and so I kind of laughed, but I was also like, what? Like,
Oh, you should have just left. You should have
I
left.
should have, I should have, but I was really confused. And so, but then, so I just stopped and stood there for a second and was kind of like, what? And then another one shot me in the face again.
Yeah,
So,
no, you count your blessings. Like,
yeah,
I know it's a bit meta, but like, you count your blessings, you get the hell out of Dodge.
yeah. Well, I mean, technically, he did fucking see, he did revive me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
whether it was accidental or not, he did.
so I think that was Maverick. If it was a member of the Lost, if he's able to get you up, yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been Maverick. He's one of the
Okay.
EMS.
Yeah, but regardless, yeah, they leave me with my food and water and my knife, but they take my guns and yeah, they revive all the civilians. I think that's about, yeah, because after that, I got in my truck, left, went to MRPD just to see if anyone was there. No one didn't look like anyone was there. Drove clear up to Polito. Actually, what's really weird is I think it was kind of buggy because I went up to Polito and everything was fine. There were just normal civil, like normal NPCs
Oh, really?
walking around. Yeah, like nothing had happened up there.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but like, I went back to the city and was just like, I don't know where the fuck anyone
Yeah.
is. I don't like,
So
no one's on the radio anymore. Like, I even got on the radio and someone did. Someone was like, "Hey, is there anyone still out here on this channel?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." What? But then they just like quit talking, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know. Fuck this. I'm gonna go to bed.
yeah.
I don't. This is I don't know." So yeah, so
It's a shame
that that was
because if you had
that was it.
chosen to go to Sandy rather than Polito, you would have actually run into me again.
Yeah,
We were holed up. We were basically holed up on top of Sandy PD. So the mayor, the person who plays the mayor, they actually switched off to their Uwu Matilda character, like a little nerd girl, but they were dressed to the high heavens as a SWAT member. And it was so badass because we was just on top of like Uwu. No, sorry, we was on top of the Sandy PD rooftop, basically just we're just hollowing out at that point. We're just chilling, vibing to like gunshots and shooting down jets, as you do. Um,
yeah.
and we basically just spend like a good hour there, not really doing much, just sort of vibing. And freaking Roger, we had Roger with us, but like he was naked. We'd stripped him of all his stuff. He was just naked, and he was just like in one of the Bearcats, the kind of SWAT vehicles. Um,
Yeah.
we hear the honking of a car being hijacked. We go down, and it's like freaking Roger's just there, like trying to hijack this Bearcat. And he's like, "You can't shoot me! You can't shoot me! You're the cops! You can't shoot me!" And we're just like, "Fuck it!" Blasted him in the face. I'm pretty sure like several people did, and it's like you realize at this point there's no such thing as cops, just
Yeah.
survivors. And you're taking away one of our biggest assets. You're gonna die. So that was the death of Roger. I'm pretty sure it's the canonical death because I don't think he was in day two.
I didn't see him. No.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, we basically holed up on this rooftop for a while. I think by that point you went to bed.
Yeah,
Um,
I was done.
Ben Doon, who was with us as well, one of the only survivors of the mansion incident, basically was regaling tales about like all the fucked up shit that went through. We then had a few more survivors, including the last member of government. Um, we all went to Polito PD to like basically have more of a stronghold. And then there weren't very many of us left, so it was just like, well, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out with a bang, and we're going to get vengeance. So a few of us rode down to the city to basically attack the Lost, which went poorly because we actually ended up just getting blown up. um, yeah, so that was it. After that, we was just counted as like the odd straggler cop. um, we went back to MRPD and essentially called it a night. Alex Blake died. As far as canonical shit goes, Alex Blake died at the mansion during that Lost incident. Um, that was the end of day one.
It was
And
fun. It was eventful.
oh yeah,
I just wish the whole cliche of a group infiltrating another group and just kill them and take their shit.
yeah,
That's that's a bit cliche.
it's a bit
And
cliche, and I think it could have been handled in a much more interesting way. But like at the same time, it was chaotic, and
yeah, it
honestly,
was.
like as far as the grand picture goes, I don't think I want to change a single moment because it was just so goddamn good. Um,
I just wish I could have been there yesterday for the full thing.
yeah. So day two, but before we get into this, I just want to point out that I will be putting a link in the description below this. Basically, a link to the server and the YouTube page for Let's RP. Check out some of their stuff because it is awesome. It's a very small server at the moment. With more than enough ability to expand capacity. Um, every RPO I've come across is absolutely amazing, and if you're looking to get involved in some of the cool events, definitely check out that YouTube channel there. And yeah, if you're interested, whitelisting is a very quick process. Um, do get involved.
Yeah, I think yeah, I submitted my application and it was literally just like a few hours later or some shit. It was like you've been approved.
Yeah, yeah, no, they
And
work
it,
quick. Yeah,
yeah, and then I had like my voice interview thingy like the following day with Micron. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Micron, very quick and easy. Just like wants to make sure that so that you're not completely left to the wind going into the server. Like this is how you do certain things. So like how you use your alternative eye, that sort of stuff. Um, he doesn't really ask for any big questions. It's just like, is there any questions you want to ask us so that kind of what you're doing. Um, Basically breaking the ice almost. For just to point out, Micron is the events manager of Let's RP, and um, it is said that the Halloween event has been organized since September. So it's been a quite a work in progress, and it really paid off.
Did you read how this event even was initially conceived?
No, I didn't. Do tell.
It was they it's really short, but they I guess they were like in a staff voice chat, all just talking and stuff, try coming up with ideas. And apparently, it goes. Micron just kind of was like, "What about zombies?" And that's how it went.
Yeah, true.
Like
So
that's how I can't. It's on their Discord somewhere. Someone was talking about it. Even Micron was like, "Yeah, I can't believe all this happened just from me going, huh? What about zombies?"
I mean, it makes sense because, in the grand scheme of things, like one of the most modded things people do with GTA is the pedestrian aggression mod. They changed the skins to basically be kind of shambling and injured, so basically zombies. And they basically take away the weapons from everyone, so they're forced to come up to you and melee you to death. So building on that was so good. It wasn't even a zombie bit that was like the highlight here.
Oh,
The highlight here was straight up the collapse of society, the shenanigans of humane labs, the kind of moral dilemmas caused by, do we trust the cops? We don't usually trust the cops, but do we trust them? I mean, they're giving us like SMGs, they're giving us shotguns. Surely they're trusting, but at the same time, they're the cops. Like do we trust the bikers? We're literally at war with the bikers. We're discussing the whole time whether we should kill the bikers for the sake of survival, but like
you
the
really should
moral,
have.
we really should have. But like the moral dilemma is, do we retain humanity? You know, um,
Yeah.
and it was every goddamn man for themselves. Like there's groups and factions, like basically picking up throughout the whole like 2 days. Um, it wasn't until literally the last, I don't know, I want to say 2 or 3 hours of day two that people came together. Like the agency, the Lost, the PD, even like the little rebel rousers like Smack and Frank, pretty much put everything aside and took the war to Humane Labs.
Fucking destroyed my truck, man.
But before we get onto that, let's discuss how we started on day 2. Now, I believe I was one of the first people onto the server. It was eerie because there's no one around, and today, because Alex Blake was dead, I was on Smack. I say today, obviously day 2. I was on Smack, driving around on my Manchez. We kind of get this out of character notification that CFX, the system that runs the servers, has kind of broken. It's been like DDoS attacked or something. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna log out because then I'm gonna be stuck out. So I'm gonna find some place to like chill. So I was parked, and I've got a screenshot. I'll actually put this into the VOD. I got a screenshot of me basically on one of the bridges. I got my Manchez up on this kind of like semicircle strut, and I'm just like overlooking this like vista of a city that's basically just got like shamblers everywhere. A couple of them actually come up onto the strut and like try to get me, but I kind of knock them off and they die again. I look over my shoulder and I'm like, I see this sunset. I'm like, that is super pretty. And then my heart sunk. Because when you see the sunset, you know that nighttime is just around the corner. And when nighttime happens, it's not your ordinary zombies. You get these armless freaks that basically sprint up to you. They swarm. Yeah, they run, they
Oh,
swarm. Fuck me, they're annoying. So I'm like, ah, okay. I start to hear the pitter patter of feet. I look down. I can see like a few zombies like kind of just running around. I'm like, okay, what's got them spooked? It becomes night, and I see these like weird freaks like in droves running past, and I'm like, that can't all be for me. I'm the only one here. I see them run under the bridge I'm on. I hear the pitter patter of feet disappear, and then in the distance, I just see this train of zombies running towards where I am on this strut, and they start to climb. I get on my man chairs, I freaking wheelie it off of this this strut, and I'm just like, I'm just doing loops of the city at that point. I can't stop. I'm like, I don't know where to go. There's no one else around, and eventually, I catch wind of, I believe it was Vivian. Vivian, I think I put on Twitter that like, hey, anyone for hugs? And Vivian responded, so I was like, okay, cool, right, go into Viv's body shop then, and that is roughly how my day started. Hold up there, we kind of went to collect our cars and like do them up with body armor and all the kind of performance upgrades. We go and buy Viv a new vehicle because for some reason the impound worker impounds cars but won't give you your cars back. So we had to get. That's why there were so many of those. Was it Cabaneros?
yeah.
Yeah, there were so many of those around because people were just buying new vehicles because their old ones got impounded and they can't get them back. Um, so yeah, we got that. We did it up, and then I saw your vehicle speed past. So
Yeah.
that's when I ran over to that petrol station to like catch up with you. I started like I you know, I said, okay, I'm with Viv, so if you want to come and like be safe, we're over at the body shop. You say that there's issues, so I'm like, all right, give us a couple of minutes. I run back over. I'm like, okay, look, my business partner is safe. I told him to come here in a couple of minutes. Can we please not shoot him? Um, there were some interesting points of views happening as well. Some of the streamers, so Napolio's character, for instance, was super interesting because he's another cop character that died yesterday. Sorry,
Yeah.
on day one. Um, and basically, you know how Frankie went to Humane Labs and got gunned down?
Yeah.
Well, he came out of hospital after surgery, all Resident Evil style, alone and naked. And he was basically making his way around the city without a phone or anything like that, basically like panicking. I think at one point he went to the airport and was swarmed. He saw military rocket platforms driving on past, and all the helicopters were ignoring him. The one helicopter that did actually land to come and help him got blown out of the sky. Yeah, he was having a hell of a time. It was a great watch. Um, Eventually, he makes his way to Viv's, where we are, and essentially that's where it starts. Like we're just all gathered here. I believe there was like we heard about like people going to MRPD to get more supplies. So I think we hatched this plan to kind of go there, get guns, and then maybe turn on Chester, right?
Yeah.
We get there, we do get our supplies, but then there was this call for like a supply drop. So we're like, shit, okay, maybe we should go check that out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the agency got there first and basically took everything, by the way.
Probably.
Yeah. I think I saw that in one of the POVs, but like we got there and was just so bitter because like everyone had already looted everything and was just like, well, fuck, essentially. We head north with Viv after some deliberation to basically the meth house in the hills. Basically, because we figured that, get away from the city. It'll be safer to just hole up there for a while and figure out what's going on. Um, Basically, an announcement comes in. Basically, everyone moves over to radio frequency 23. There's going to be an attack on humane labs by the survivors. At this point, like, Smack is still kind of just like, mate, this is a hell of like a hangover. What's with the amputee party? Like, it don't make no sense, you know? Um, Frank's all like, sometimes you gotta. It's your fight, right? Like it
Yeah.
is your fight, and like Smack's not having any of it, but kind of wants to be part of the chaos anyway. So we all kind of we basically rendezvous at Humane Labs, and Frank and I are pushing around the front of the gate. Quite
Up on
foolishly,
the
I might add, because it turns out we were missing out on so much ammo by not grouping up first.
Well, we did group up first, but Simon kind of pushed. He's like, yeah, just go get us close
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever. Go ahead and go. And I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. Simon's like this little action man at this point. He's just like wanting to get in there and do things. So yeah, we kind of skirt around the back. We're trying to find any entrance in that's not the front gate to ill effect. I think Frank gets like gunned down or blown up by a freaking rocket launcher or something.
It was gunned down. I was shooting at him, so same as you, shooting at him through the fence. But I noticed the front gate. Our guys were like pushing inward,
Yeah,
so I was trying to really draw their attention. So I just kind of sacrificed myself, so to speak, and just kind of stood up and started firing at them repeatedly. And so they turned and shot at me, and then that's kind of when uh, our guys really got inside
yeah.
because I think I drew their attention enough.
Yeah, so they start breaking in. I retrieve Frank's body. I believe there was a few moments where a helicopter near enough got us both by strafing us along that
Oh
wall. That was
yeah,
that got my hairs up on the back of my neck. That was so good. Um, so I take him over to the front. No one's around, and I'm like, I can't take him in to get medical. I can't take him anywhere else because they're all inside. So I had to like ditch him there for the time being. Um,
yeah.
Everyone makes their way in. They fight their way into the lab, and I believe Napolio and some other. I think Napolio, Kapow, and Mephisto. They're inside the lab. They're listening to some sort of recording left by Codependent about what's actually happened and why the blackouts are. Essentially, they were drawing so much power from the city's power grid for their experiments, and it ended up in like a containment breach, which, you know, uh, the gas was a thing, and by that point we was already infected. So the gas mask challenge made no bloody difference whatsoever. Um, yeah, we get that information. They allude to something being gathered at the docks for like evacuation or something. So we go down to like the Merryweather docks as like a whole bunch of people. We see Dr. Codependent there. He's trying desperately to synthesize a antidote to this gas essentially for us, and we need to go gather up all these like items. He gets wind of like a transport going from Fort Zacundo northbound. So everyone sort of gathers up, and this is like the biggest, weirdest moment for me because this is the bit where Smack teams up with Chester, the guy basically leading the PD at this point, and putting differences aside, which is completely gnarly. Like, I did not feel like that would ever be a moment with Smack, you know? Um, yeah, we managed to take down the convoy. We get the box truck, which has all the supplies. We make our way down south to the docks again. Doctor Codependent makes this antidote and tests it on Mel, who has been bitten. So Mel is the lady from Uwu, pretty much friend to everyone. They're bitten. They get this antidote tested, and all seems well. Like her fever goes down, the headaches go away. There's like no pressure feeling inside her body. She feels great. They go to test this antidote on Frankie after that, and before the injection goes in, Mel pushes Codependent away, saying don't do it, because like the fever had come back strong, like she was feeling icky again.
Yeah.
Codependent takes her to the corner of a room, checks the bite. It had accelerated her what was it, what do they call it, necrolysis or something like that. It actually accelerated her death essentially. There was this very touching moment where um she was scared for to die, and Chester, who literally had to put down his girlfriend, now faced having to put down Mel as well. Um, Takes the gun to Codependent and screams at him for answers. To which point he picks up Codependent picks up a phone and is talking to the Major. Chester doesn't think anything of it because he's familiar with the Major. And the last words that come out of Cody Pendant's mouth is, "We failed, just do it." Everyone's like, "Just do what? Just do what?" Freaking emergency signal comes on. Nuclear initialization detected. Come to the evacuation point at Fort Zacundo, essentially. All employees, essentially. Freaking Chester and Napolio, Frankie put down Dr. Codependent, like bullet to the brain style. And then like everyone's just in a straight up panic. Like people are like ditching the groups they had made. They're done. They took the cars. They're not trying to find any way to escape. And like Chester, being like kind of the voice of reason, is like over the radio, like, "Okay, guys, meet up at the vineyard. We're going to attack Fort Secundo. We need to get to that evacuation point." So we do. We attack. I believe me and a couple of others actually go through the back. Viv, Jackson, Mephisto, and myself were going in through the back, and everyone else was going through the front. There was like lines of barricades on the runway in the military base with like basically people throwing flares and like shooting us down and everything. We had to make our way to the end of the runway, and they actually like were calling to clear the runway for evacuation. So time was obviously getting on, and like the messages were changing. We was like, oh shit, okay, we need to like act soon. We eventually managed to get our way through there by basically stealing these SWAT trucks and like advancing bit by bit, taking down the guards and like just causing utter chaos. We get to the end of the runway and there is no evacuation. There's just two nukes, and we're given the signal of 2 minutes 30. Chester tries to disarm the nuke, and the keypad locks him out. And you just see everyone just. You just get this overwhelming sense of defeat. Absolute overwhelming sense of defeat. Like, your Smack's just, done saying his goodbyes. There was a moment where I looked out, or like turned my camera to the right. I saw Kapow and Matilda like hugging, having their goodbyes off in the distance, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like I was legitimately in the moment, like, "Oh my god, this is terrible," you know. Um, and then we just see the signal for 30 seconds, and you had some people offering a bullet to the head as an alternative. Like there was just a huge sense of defeat all round. The sky goes green, and then that was it. That was the end, and it was so fucking good, so fucking good.
Yeah.
I
God,
com-
I wish I could have.
I
Yeah.
completely lost track of you at some point. I don't know when, but like there was a moment where I was like, I have not seen Frank in a while.
All right. Okay. So let me tell you how it went, how everything went for me. So much like how your day started off, that's actually how my day started off. I logged into the server earlier in the day. I was the only one on. I had my truck. I was basically just running over zombies. I was just checking shit out and stuff. Much like your swarming thing you had going on, I had it too. I
Yep.
was trying to repair. I was trying to repair my truck, but it was at night. So yeah, I had like 20 of those fucking things run into the garage, and essentially had my truck pinned against the wall. I couldn't move because there was just so many of them, and it was just kind of. And I finally managed to wiggle my way out, and so that went on, and I got tired of doing that, and I logged off and was like, okay, I'd take care of the kids and stuff. Uh, so it was after lunch. I'd fed the kids. They were on their phones playing, being quiet. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on now. Oh, and also when I was logged on earlier, I did die. I had to step away from the computer and let the dogs in and clean off their paws because they were muddier than holy hell. And in that time, I had died. So that's why I lost my phone and radio, was because of that. But
Gotcha.
so, anyways, try to log back in. This is when CFX was having their issues. Literally couldn't. It literally would not let me. I'm like beating my head on the table, going, God, no, not today, not right now. No,
Yeah, they just had to do it.
finally.
They had to do it. They had to freaking attack the servers like right on the day of the
Yeah,
like the climax. It's like really, come on, guys.
yeah, finally fucking got in. Okay, finally got in. And I know you had mentioned you were at Viv's, but obviously Frank didn't know that.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I didn't even know where the fuck where Viv's was. The only thing I had to go off on was you constantly go to that garage. Anytime you need your car fixed when we're together, you go see if they're open.
Yeah.
But you have never said this is Viv's garage. No, like I
Really?
did not know. Yes, I did not know that was Viv's garage. So I went again. I went clear the fuck up to Polito. Like I drove around the city, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'll drive up north, see if anything's going on up there, and then I'll drive back into the city. And so nothing was happening up at Polito. So I drove back down to the city. And I was like, okay, Maybe that's Viv's. I don't know. I saw the helicopter that was kind of around that area above you all,
Because you know they're
and
going to be where the players are. Yeah.
yes, and so I saw that, and I was like, I wonder what the fuck's that doing. So that is what actually prompted me to drive by. Was I saw that helicopter was kind of flying around, so I went over there, flew by, saw you all outside shooting zombies and shit, and I went, oh, there they are. Uh, so I stopped down the road to get fuel. That's when you came down. We had our interaction. You left. Um, I got back in my truck. That other guy showed up in his car. Whatever. I started running over zombies in the truck because I was debating whether or not to actually go to Viv's or just say fuck it. I know you're safe. I'm just gonna go somewhere else. Didn't know what to do. You came running back down. So went to Viv's. As you saw, like Frank was so many times was just about ready to walk out and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like not because of anything Viv was doing at that point, but just because he's just like, you don't understand. You were not there yesterday.
Because Frank takes things out of context and just like really just thinks the
Like, oh
worst, and Viv's kind of similar actually. Like,
no, Viv, as I said earlier, Viv is the one that started. Frank literally just made a comment going, yeah, you said you didn't like my name.
yeah, no,
She is the one
yeah,
that
that
immediately blew up.
yeah, that's the thing, is like it's the terminology you used which set her off, because she originally said she finds it weird to call you Frank because of that reason, which is fair enough. You said straight up hate, like
She said that.
as if
I
there's like a
remember.
vendetta.
I remember specifically. She said, "Oh, I hate your name because I have like an ex-boyfriend with that name." That is what she said.
It sucks because there's so many Franks in that city.
There is, yeah. But whatever. Regard, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter either way. She could, whatever. That not the point. Point is, it was just kind of like whatever. So we were there, and yeah, you all were coming up with a plan. I have no phone. I have no radio. I can't get in touch with anybody or check Twitter or nothing. Like I'm like, what the fuck am I? I think I'm just kind of standing here, not doing nothing.
Yeah, you had like
So yeah,
12 missed calls from Smack, by the way.
okay. Well, I'll check. I'll see that when I log in later. uh, so we yeah, so we leave, we go to MRPD, and like you said, we were gonna try to get guns and stuff. But at this point, Frank is kind of questioning everything because because as much as like he loves Smack and he just like they're two peas in a pod, yada yada. It just he also at the time has noticed this trend that anytime someone else is involved with something, Smack immediately will turn on Frank and just be like, Frank, shut up, or like immediately just blame Frank. And Frank's like, what the hell? So he would like so many times contemplating literally just leaving, just saying fuck it all.
You caught on to that,
Uh,
did you?
do what?
You caught on to the whole Smack's kind of like it's so spoilers. Smack has a bunch of things that they're trying to do in their own little world. Some of it benefits Frank, some of it uses Frank, and like there is actually this little bit of Smack is basically keeping you around as a tool. So when things don't kind of, if there's an idea that doesn't quite go where like Smack's like plotting, yeah, you've picked up on the fact that like Smack becomes a bit of a dick.
Yeah, no, like Frank already knew that. That's he's known that that half the time Smack just uses him. Like it's very well established. But he had always thought that like yeah, he might be used, but in the end, they are friends. Smack will have his back. But now, well, at least for this event, he really started questioning that. Like it seemed like suddenly Smack is friends with these people. They don't like him, and Smack is like, well, I'm going to take their side over Frank's. And so Frank was just kind of like, what the like. honestly, Frank was just like, "Fuck this! Like, I'm lost. Like, I don't even know what to do anymore."
See, this is what
Uh,
this is what I was talking about with like the whole moral dilemmas, because like there is a legit moment where Smack has a choice to make. Like, go with Grumpy Frank's machinations and potentially find like a new group, or stick with the group that Smack's already established and knows to be on Smack's side. Like, the safer bet would be to like, I don't know, go with the PD or something, but like after hearing the tales of the night prior, Smack stayed with Viv because Viv is with the Lost, and
yeah,
that's the safest place. Like Smack nearly got shot that time because he made like this comment about Burger Shot, and one of the agency runs Burger Shot, and the agency is dangerous.
yeah,
So like yeah, no, there was like levels of play for Smack where they were holding their tongue for the reasons of survival and like blowing off his friends for those very reasons. And it was like, yeah, no, it is such a weird dynamic for Smack all around yesterday because it's just like the modem operandum changed. Unlikely allegiances and everything. It was so weird.
yeah. But no, we had went to MRPD, and then we that's why like Frank was just kind of quiet because really he was just trying to figure shit out in his head. Uh, and then we went to the airdrop, and then it was like, okay, we're gonna go here and we're gonna do this, and so yeah, so we started going, and then that was like Frank and Smack started to kind of get into it a little because Frank was like, you never fucking have my side, and then Smack's like, okay, well, what is your side? And so Frank started to talk, and that's when the jet showed up and shot missiles right in front of Viv and them, and then about caused Frank to run right into him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to the meth house, and like you all had went inside, and Frank was just kind of outside, just fucking shanking zombies to death with a knife.
Oh, that
It's kind of
was so. I know I blew you off a lot, but that's because I was the only one of us two with a radio. I'm not sure if you picked up on me running back and forth, being like,
yeah,
"Okay, so such and such is happening. Are you interested?" like,
yeah. No, no. It was whatever. It was that was like I said. As a person, me personally, I didn't care. It was like that Frank was just out there just trying to clear his head, kill zombies, and because I mean he had reached the conclusion his opinion doesn't mean anything. He was like, "There's nothing I'm gonna say or do that's gonna change anyone's mind here about anything. So I'll just go along for the ride, I guess." Uh, yeah, and then you came out and you were like, "Hey, there's shit going on over there at the Humane Labs," and we're like, "Okay, fuck it, let's go." So went over there, went up the mountain, parked at the top, fell down the mountain, fucked up my truck completely. Found the group of people convening, talked with them. Simon got in the truck and was basically like, "Okay, let's go." So we're like, "Okay," and then yeah, and then as my truck is breaking down trying to get to the main labs, we found out, oh, if we would have stayed back there, we could have got ammo and guns.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It was just before
but
that you gave Smack a lecture on sort of like, yeah, no, this isn't like even Frank's like not thinking about his own machinations at this point. Even Frank's like, yeah, no, this is definitely your fight as well. So stop being so
yeah,
indifferent. Get involved.
yeah, that was because yeah, that was because yeah, Smack's like, well, this isn't my fight, yada yada, and I'm like, we all live here. It doesn't. This is your fucking fight. It was, it was at that point. That was like the one time Frank was just like, "No, shut up. You're being dumb." It's like, no, this is your fight. We all live here. We're all for better or worse in this together, so to speak. So
Still trying to get expunged.
yeah, good God, we're not quit. Shut up about that.
I got like Chester frickin' yelled at me over the radio with that because I was like, in the midst of all this chaos, I made some sort of reference about like, hey, can I be expunged? And it's like, not the time, smack.
Yeah, I think again I couldn't hear the radio, but I think you're talking about after the humane labs, after you picked me up
Yeah,
and we were driving, because I remember you mentioned that over the radio, and then I think you said something about Chester, someone being mad or whatever. But
yeah, because I think
yeah,
I think like at first he was like, it's not the time, and then later on, like Smack found out the mayor had died and was all like, well, that put a fucking pipe in the works, didn't it? And then learns that Bryn is the technically the new mayor. Gets the hoots up, and then later finds out that they're dead, and it's like fuck.
but yeah, that was yeah. So we did the humane lab stuff where yeah, Smack and Frank ran around the sides, and Frank drew fire to give the other guys a chance to get in.
And ate shit.
Yeah, you carried me to the front gate, and we're like, hey, I gotta leave you here. I can't take. And Frank's like, no, no, that's fine. Just if you find someone, tell them to come out here and help me. If not, fuck. I guess I'm dead.
Real talk, we
So
almost left without you as well.
no, that was like I was laughing, but at the same time, I was also kind of frustrated because literally you told me to check out the streams. So I was like, okay. So I don't remember. There was one of the streams I went to, and I shit you not, as soon as I open it up, it's all of them running back through the parking lot to the main gate.
Napolio.
So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, cool. I'm gonna get, they're gonna see me.
You
So
can
they
see
hop
your
the fence.
legs.
They hop the fence and they come back over, and they're all up top, like right above me.
Yeah, I
Because
remember seeing that when I was looking through the VOD. You can literally see your legs, like plain as day. It was so obvious that you was down there. You could even see your whole body at some point, but it's like,
yeah, they like I when they first hopped over the fence, obviously because I don't want to just be like, oh my god, come help me. I'm just like, I've been laying here. I'm on the verge of death. So they hopped the fence, and at the first time I was like, help me. And that was all I said. I didn't want to say anything else. I just said that. I was just like, let's see what happens. And there are people literally like walking right next to me.
yeah,
All these people are just going leaving me. And so that's when I messaged you on Discord and was like, they're all fucking around me, but no one's helping me. And so they all start getting in cars and leaving. You hop the fence. You get in the truck, and
yes,
the guy's like, okay, let's go. And I was just like, my jaw dropped. I was like, no, 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 no. And then you were like, wait, hold up, hold up. So then you came down and
yeah.
got me. I was like, oh my God,
I
thank
straight up
you.
forgot that you was there. I actually thought you had logged or something. I was like, because I was in. You're lucky, by the way, because I probably would have forgotten outright if not for the fact that I got stuck in Humane Labs. Because I was like, I think I went to check something. Came back, everyone had left, and I was in pitch black trying to navigate this fucking labyrinth. Uh,
Yeah.
I was the last one out of there. I just happened to catch Simon hijacking that truck, and he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, let's go." At which point I was like, we started to roll, and I was like, "Oh shit, Frank!"
Yeah, I was like, I shit you not, my jaw was dropped when you all got in the truck, and I was like, no, no, don't do this to me.
Because yeah,
And
at the time, the positioning of it, all I could see was this C-ram turret like covering
yeah,
your body, so I couldn't even see you. I was like, oh, okay, maybe he like logged out or is gone onto his hobo. I don't know, but like it wasn't until we started rolling forward I was like, oh, that's his hand.
yeah. So so then, uh, so you all picked me up and got me revived, yada yada. Yeah, we went down to the docks, and where we all hung out for a while. Helicopter was flying around. Someone, it may have been Frankie. I don't know. Someone shot at the helicopter and made it crash.
Oh,
And they were like,
the helicopter down on the main road to the docks.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
that
don't.
thing. I swear, at some points, I swear it was aiming for me because there's like I was going from one side of the road, ducking behind cover to the other side of the road, and it's like it just bullets kept coming my way, and it just felt like so unfair. I was like, "What? Why is it attacking me?" And I just hear Simon be like, "Well, maybe because you're an easy target with that massive red hair of yours." And I was like, "Shut up."
Yeah. And so, but someone ended up shooting it down, and then another one fucking appeared. We're like, God damn it. But then it finally cleared out. So we're all waiting for a game plan. We're all just randomly. Some people are just sitting around. Some people are killing zombies. I was killing zombies.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice
Literally,
reprieve.
Simon ran up to me with his bat in hand, ready to fucking kill me because he thought I was a zombie. And then at the last minute, went, "Oh shit, Frank, that's you." Oh, he's like, "I just about knocked the shit out of you." He's like, "I thought you were a zombie." And I was like, "Oh, no, I haven't seen a zombie wear a hot dog hat before." So he's like, "Well, first time for everything." And I'm like, "Well, I like to be the first for a lot of things, but that's not one of them." Uh, and then so that ended, and I shit you not, like a minute later, me and Marcus are going after the same zombie, and he knocks me over the head with a bat.
Oh, really?
No, yeah, and then so Simon came over, helped me out, and I'm like, "Damn it, Simon, were you training Marcus to fucking beat the shit out of me or something?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Because you almost hit me with a bat. He did hit me with a bat." And
Finish
he's
the
like, "Oh
job.
no." So yeah, then we all went. Finally got a game plan. Went and found
Codependent.
Cody, and yeah, it was after that we after we'd come up with the plans. Oh yeah, and the whole time uh they're talking to Cody. Fucking Marcus is just like shooting and stabbing the fucking bad guy's corpse.
Swan off shotguns. Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, he just like fucking doing that shit. And then yeah, then we came up with a game plan. It was like, yeah, two groups need to split up. Literally, you jumped in Chester's car, and then everyone else jumped in cars and just took off. Like all the cars were filled. There was like a Mini Cooper left. And I don't know whose Mini Cooper that was, but at that point, it was like I need to get off because I need to go take care of the kids
I
and get
believe
them
that
dinner
was
and stuff.
Mel's.
Yeah, it just like I almost because it was unlocked, so I got in it and I was like, "Oh, I could search for the keys and take it. I could do it." But then I was like, "No, I need to get off and watch the kids and stuff."
That's such a shame. Did you catch any of the VODs to see how it ended?
No, I did not,
I
unfortunately.
I would suggest Napoleon's is pretty good. So I think there was three people live streaming last night: Napolio, Mephisto, and Knockout Wolf. I think Knockout Wolf only got the last like hour of it, and was kind of left behind a bit. So they didn't really
Yeah,
see like the big, you know, events as it unfolded. Napolio was pretty much front and center for the most part. Um, he made a joke about being the main character towards the end, but like yeah, no, he was essentially one of the main characters during this event,
yeah,
unintentionally.
yeah, he was.
So definitely check out his. I will actually put a link to the VOD for Napoleon's POV in the description below as well. You can see the entirety of the final day as it happened. I'll actually put like the link to both days because I think he was streaming both. Day one as Jack Powers the cop, and day two as yeah, and day two as Frankie Walters. Um, he has very interesting perspectives on both. Like he was there for all the major events. So definitely check out his VODs to see how that ended. And yeah, like Jesus Christ, that entire like the slow build up over the month, like essentially the breakout as it happened was just
Let,
amazing.
I just want to mention the fucking weather yesterday in the
Oh,
game.
God, yeah, it was so good.
It was full on apocalypse
There,
worthy.
there was a point where I
It
was like,
was
did I have a fucking weather machine? What is this?
it was I thought was so funny was because we got down to the docks and it was just storming its ass off as with lightning everywhere. This and that, and then it just immediately cleared up and went to sunny skies. Right after the helicopter got shot down, and everyone and people were like, "Hey, wait, we beat it! We stopped everything!" Yeah, it was so fucking funny.
Oh, it was so good. So goddamn good.
But yeah, it was. This was such a good event. I wish I could have been there for the very end of it.
I'm just so
Uh,
happy I started the whole thing as a PD character because, like, the initial breakout, like, as fun as it would have been on Smack, just having to, like, struggle to control the chaos as it
no, I
unfolded was intense.
no, it was. I am a little disappointed that you weren't on Smack because I was really looking forward to it. Because, but at the same time, I really don't think it would have been any better than what happened.
Oh, definitely. Like,
Than how it went. It was like it was so good, especially at the mansion. Whenever Blake goes up to Frank and is like, "Hey, we're gonna take your truck and we're gonna go to Sandy and get ammo," and I was like, "Fuck yes, let's do it."
yeah, like,
And then
straight up, I was going to go along with your plan and just say, fuck the PD. I literally went into the house to see, like, okay, who we got with us, anyone else interested in coming with us, because, like, a group of four will be much safer than just us two, especially
yeah,
since, like, your character does not bode any confidence in Blake at all. Um,
fuck Blake.
yeah, but, like, by the time we was like, all right, fuck it, no one's interested, let's go, like, shit started to unravel. The PD
Yeah,
came back.
yeah, that was when they came back with the two guardians full of weapons, and so it was like, okay, well, there's no reason to go then.
Yeah, and then the lost thing happened, and it's like, well, if we was at Sandy, like maybe this would have ended better for Blake.
Yeah, but no, I really wish we could have seen where that went. Uh, but overall, I think having Blake there was because you do have your own little personality with him. It just makes things fucking funny. I'm just, I'm just like listening to you try to be all like I'm so used to you being on Smack, and when you
Like dumb as
switch to
shit,
him,
and then going on
yeah, and
Blake, and
like
it's just like super serious and kind of like,
yeah, it's just like I cannot help but fucking smile and laugh. It's like, oh my god. It's but no, overall, I mean this event was above and beyond what I would have ever expected.
yeah, no, it was
It,
so good. Ollie quite rightly puts it. I'm a little bit disappointed that Ollie wasn't live streaming, but I think they really wanted to immerse themselves, um, which is fair. But Ollie put it in a way that is really good. Like the fact that the moment the event was over, people in droves jumped onto the voice chat to like give praise and just be like, "This was amazing! Oh my god, this moment here, this moment there, it's so good!" Like,
yeah,
really speaks volumes about the community on the server, and I do applaud anyone to get whitelisted, give us a try, and just really come to enhance the server because like the server's population already is just absolutely top notch.
yeah, and like you can it's very easy to be a criminal. It's very easy to follow the law. Uh I say, and if you are a criminal, the cops make it so fucking enjoyable. It
Yeah,
is so great. Like Frank and Smack have both they've been caught twice. Once robbing a store, another time robbing a jewelry store. Both times Frank has gotten out of it scot free.
and Smack has
Charges
not.
nothing. It's like it's just so interesting how shit goes. Yeah, this server is fucking amazing.
It really is. It really is. And I do look forward to seeing more people join because, like, wow, just seeing the groups that have arisen. The only thing I would say is I really hope that there's no more Lost. They are too large a group right now.
No, yeah, the Lost is just a group where it's like their RP revolves around them just if you disagree with us, we'll just shoot you.
Yeah, like,
And
but it's not a
it's
detriment. It's not a detriment. It's actually like, if you fuck with like we've all a lot of people have seen Sons of Anarchy. It's
yeah,
basically based off of that, and like if you do kind of rub them the one wrong way, they will go full, you know, crime mob on you. You know, um, you got to play your cards right if you want to get in with them. You want to, be useful to them. If you're on the lawful side of things, the chances are you're going to be an enemy with them. But if you're just a civilian, as long as you're polite to them, they actually leave you alone. You know, they don't go out their way to cause like chaos or anything like that. They're actually played really well. The only issue is that they are a large group, so goddamn large that it's like if the PD were to kind of play it like we have been, where you don't immediately go for headshots, you kind of gun around them and stuff like that, we get easily overwhelmed by the Lost. And I mean, it's fair enough. We actually have advantages where they don't, but like, yeah, it's rare that we would win against the Lost, and
yeah.
that
I
they've
just
got numbers, you know.
yeah. I just like I get the whole like, they're a tough gang, like you said, you rub them the wrong way, they'll do this and that. Like I understand that completely. I just don't like how quick the RP, like if you get on their bad side, it just immediately is your shot. Like that's what I don't like. I'm like that's because even in real life, like I have gotten into arguments with plenty of people. Never once has someone threatened to shoot me because I'm arguing with them. And that's what I do not like that. That's what I'm like it's not it is such a simplistic boring thing for me.
Yeah, fair, fair.
I completely understand the whole you can't just have someone come up to you all and be like, "Hey, you all fucking suck. Go kill yourselves." Yeah, whatever. Like you can't you do that, I understand it. But it's straight up just I don't uh I don't know. Like it was whenever I jumped on I was on Carl the other day and he crashed that car into Smack's car. uh
So you
like
smack frickin'
Smack
shanks you.
Yeah, Smack literally shanks him. Okay, problem's taken care of. But then the guy that was there, who's part of the law, is just like, oh no, let's go a step further. No, you need to apologize. This and that. I'm like, what? No, this and that, and then just shoots him in the head.
Well, that's just it. Like,
It
Smack
was
stabbing
literally like
you is one thing, but like Jackson's quite a big fan of Smack, and like I don't know where the respect came from, but like Jackson kind of has Smack's back. So like, and the thing is, Smack didn't turn around to say no, don't do it. It's fine. Like, if
no,
anything, Smack encouraged him to. Like the whole shooting you when you're already down thing, I was kind of rooting for it. I'm not gonna lie.
no. I get it, but from my point of view, it's just I'm like it's complete and utter overkill, and it's boring
It is.
in my
It is.
opinion. It's a very but like if Smack hadn't shanked Carl, sure, whatever. Like I can understand it. There Carl literally crashed into Smack's car. It was 100% his fault, and acted like nothing happened. I mean that he's homeless. He's not exactly right in the mind. But Yeah, it was just like literally Smack's just like, hold on, shank. Oh fuck. Okay, Carl gets back on his feet now. Fuck, that hurt. Okay, now apologize. What? I was just stabbed. I'm not gonna apologize to someone that just stabbed me.
The
And
most
then fucking
weighty thing.
boom.
The thing is, the most weighty thing about that whole incident is Matilda scolding Smack and Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. So after that happened, and you all took off, and I got helped back. Carl got back on his feet. The other guy took off. Carl was just kind of on the other side of Uwu, just kind of standing there. Honestly, I was just kind of trying to figure out what to go do now, or whatever. Uh, and then yeah, Kapow and Matilda showed up, and they were like, "Hey, did something happen over here? Thought we heard something." And Carl's like, "Oh, I was just shot in the face, no big deal." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, there was someone uh with red hair and this and that, and
And that's all you need
uh,
to say to incriminate Smack. I love it.
yeah." And then I was like, "Yeah, there was someone else with him. It was a biker. Don't know his name, but he's the one that shot me." And then yeah, then you all came back, and Carl's like, "Oh yeah, that's them right over there." And so yeah, Matilda ran over there, and I don't know what she was saying to you all, but because I was just busy talking to Kapow, because I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Can I join the police force so I can fly the
Oh,
helicopter?"
what? Matilda, I think she called Smack a meanie and, like, to knock it off. It was. It's. Those words don't mean much, right? But, like,
Yeah,
there's this strange fondness Smack has for, like, the nerdling. Like, there's kind of like this indifference, but kind of like this weird respect for the nerdling, because she does stand up for herself in her own way, and it's so weird to watch. Um,
yeah,
that, like, if people mess with Matilda, like, Smack will, side with Matilda. Um,
side with
like,
everybody but Frank. Got it.
Smack will relentlessly berate Matilda's boyfriend, but, like, Matilda herself, like, when she's visibly upset at Smack, like in rage mode, um, Smack does take notice and kind of backs down a bit. It's such a weird. Same with Viv. When Viv gets upset, like, Smack will back down. Like, there's a few people in the city where Smack just, you know, I suppose it kind of sticks with the character of being like literal honey badger that will kill anyone just because.
Yeah.
But friends kind of have that special place and will literally die for them. And it's like it's led to such a weird dynamic with some of the characters with between them and Smack, because it's just like, wow, okay.
Uh, yeah.
It's
Nah,
like
it's all chaos and fun.
and that's what I love about that character, to be honest, because, like, there was this one moment, and quite rightly, this involves, I think it was the Pale Riders. So you're referring to Jackson, okay, who was with the Lost, one of their
Yeah.
prospects, but they were with the Pale Riders at the time of this happening, where basically, I think it was Granny kind of ran over Smack's bike with their pickup truck or something. So Smack said they're gonna go punch like them, chased after Granny in the pickup truck, decided, like, started punching the truck, not Granny herself, but the actual truck.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I had punched Granny, I would have been shot dead. If I had, but, like, because I was punching the truck, there was like, oh, that's just Smack being Smack then. Like,
Ugh.
they've come to understand like weird moments of just chaotic thinking with my character, and that's why they get away with a lot. Truth be told, Frank for the most part is just your average guy. Like, he dresses kind of normal, like, smart casual in a way. Um, Hobo on the bottom, smart on the top, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like your average trucker. Um, and is just like a little bit grumbly and just kind of sounds annoyed at a lot of situations. So
Yeah.
like he doesn't come off as like this character that's like chaotic. And I've had a few people who are actually honestly surprised that like Smack's number one business partner is Frank, because it's like how are you two like how did how did you two become a thing? Like what? You're so different, you know? It's like, oh, it's a
They're
long
similar.
story. It's a
They're
long
similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's like
They-
your actions rival Smack's, but like the way you outwardly present yourself is so normal. It kind of confuses people.
yeah. And now you want, and that's the mystery solved of why Frank has been detained twice and been let go with no charges.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
Whereas
pretty. That's literally it.
I swear that jewelry store actually took on like your part of the punishment as well. But
No, they after you had DC'd, they literally said it was going to be like, I think like a 2 grand fine with like 75 months or something, and it was going to be like a 1 grand fine with 45 months for me. It's like your what they gave you is what they had already said before mine was even dropped.
Christ, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just it just always makes me laugh because when people ask how I met Frank, I'm like, well, we stabbed each other outside Pop's diner, set each other on fire. I tried to drown him by locking him in the boot of my car and then driving into the ocean. Like, all these things actually happened.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's because your character's so unassuming that like they just don't expect you to be this
No.
like,
And that's how I want him to be. I want him to be like, it's like I said, it's like if someone knows that Frank is up to something, it's just like, people, it's almost like a shocking thing
yeah,
in a way where they're just kind of like, wait, what? Like, if he's actually doing something, like, let's say I was shooting at the cops, it's like, oh shit, something bad must have really happened.
yeah,
Instead of just like, oh, it's just another day in the city.
pretty much, yeah.
I want, like, he will always willingly do pretty much everything, any stupid idea that comes to mind. But he presents himself, when not doing the stupid things, like as you said, presents himself as kind of just a normal person.
Yeah, there's like an interesting dynamic in our duo which comes with that because Smack actually strangely comes off as trustworthy to criminals, but
Yeah,
like kept at a 10 foot bar like distance with anyone who's kind of lawful.
yeah,
Whereas Frank, it's kind of the other way round. Like the Crims don't trust you because you seem like you're on the lawful side of things, but the PD will probably, take your side with a lot of shit if you just like, oh yeah, no, this happened, it was terrible, and you could probably frame someone, and they'll just be like, yeah, he seems like an upstanding citizen, like,
yeah, exactly. That's why it works so well. We balance each other out.
I suppose it makes sense for Frank in the long term to like be the owner of the bodyguard business, because if there's going to be like foul play at foot, Smack won't be able to cover it up.
Yeah,
But Frank will have like a much easier time.
yeah, and that's, I do want to discuss that with the mayor at some point.
Mayor.
But because I want to discuss it as, look, you have the police and I get it, I do. The problem is everybody knows the police, everybody, does this and that. It's like, so basically think of me, or you basically starting business where it's like we are private security slash bodyguards. Like anyone can hire us, but we will all, like, when we're on duty, we will be completely uh decked out, like head to toe, You will not be able to tell who we are, and we will do everything perfect. Like we will protect anyone from anybody. So like I said, like if criminals wanted to hire us to guard them while they rob a bank, we would.
Y-
Obviously, not going to tell the mayor that, but it's like it's like essentially so it's like tell the mayor it's like instead of pulling half the police force off duty or well out of the line of duty to come to your press conferences or some shit and guard you, you could just hire us
Yeah, yeah,
and we could do that. And it's like other shit like that. It's like essentially instead of just constantly relying on the police, it's like you hire us, we'll do it. And like anyone can hire us if a like with the whole Viv and Apex thing, it's like if it spiked where one was worried about being attacked by the other, well, in other words, Apex being attacked by Viv's people probably. It's like Apex could hire us and we would just stand guard at Apex.
pretty much it. Yeah.
And that just shit like that.
It'd be interesting to see how it plays out, honestly. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I just like I said, I gotta talk to the mayor. I want to see about because it'd be kind of interesting to actually get like a building where we could like store actual like company vehicles.
Yeah, yeah. We should be able to find something like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like we don't need anything massive or big. Literally, just like a small building with a garage.
Yeah, yeah. Like, there's probably a few locations that might be ideal for that. Like, even if it's up north, out of the way, you know.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. Like it wouldn't matter.
or like see if we can potentially get our hands on something dockside, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like there's the old Apex building, for instance, which is
No.
down
Yeah.
on the
That is
docks.
true. That is true. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I said that's something I gotta talk to the mayor about.
the mayor. Yep.
The mayor.
Anyway, so I just want to really put a fine point on it that, like, if anything we've spoken about tonight interests you and you're looking to get involved in like a very close knit, awesome, amazing group of individuals who like to RP and you like GTA and stuff like that, I definitely insist that you check out the links we'll be putting below in the description. Um,
Just don't join the lost.
yes, don't
Like
join the lost. There's too many of
do your
them.
own thing. Quit following everyone else.
Yeah. Uh, you can have multiple characters, obviously.
By the way, how many characters can you have? Can you only have two?
I mean, I can make two. I think there's a way to make more. I just haven't
I
figured it
said
out.
yeah. Because that's my thing. I have Frank and Carl, and I don't have any more slots. So
Yeah,
I didn't know if there is a way or not.
yeah. I might be interested in a new character, someone who's like Crim but intelligent Crim at some point, but that's for another day. Um, so yeah, do get involved. I'll probably put the link to the Discord as well, or at least the website, so you can take a look. And yeah, um, if you do join us, we look forward to seeing you. If not, well, do check out the streams that pop up on the Twitch every now and then because, like, well, this is it's an interesting watch. I'll be
Yes.
putting some vods down below, so do check them out if you're
Yeah,
interested in this
that's
Halloween
I.
event.
I recorded the first day's events with the city hall and the mansion and stuff. I'll be putting all that together. I did not record yesterday just due to I was unsure if how chaotic my house would be with the kids
Yeah,
and stuff. So I was a little concerned about trying to record and then having them like in the background yelling and shit.
makes sense.
So I did not record yesterday, but I did record Monday, and I will be uploading that in my channel as
Yes,
soon as I get the previous ep- video of this podcast up.
do go
I meant
check
to
out
have
his channel. It will also be linked down below.
yeah, I meant to have the previous podcast up yesterday.
Slacking.
Yeah, yes and no.
Well, I'll be putting this one up hopefully by the end of today. So, um, I've been Yu. This has been Pyrisk, and we're
You
right,
sure
you're
about that?
wrong. I am very sure about that.
Sure, it's a mask. It's Halloween. I'm wearing a mask.
And it's been a
What if
bloody
what if I'd
good
been you
Halloween.
you?
No one can be Yu but Yu. Yu is Yu.
But what about Mimi?
Oh yeah, but they're a knockoff. Anyway,
uh,
take it easy, and yeah, catch you later.
Woo!